So it's taken forever for Wave 2 of Transformers Power of the Primes to hit my neck of the woods, and they're finally beginning to trickle in as of this recording, which is somewhere between the early part of April and the middle of April. Yeah, I know, we're behind the 8 ball, but the old adage of better late than never applies more now than I think it ever has for anything I've gotten. Maybe. And I'm excited today to be able to take a look at not one, but two of these little robots, or maybe three, depending on your perspective. Stick around because both Roadtrap and Battleslash, who unite to form Battletrap, will be the focus of the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, and of course I'm going to say subscribe, stick around, have your say, join the community here. Check me out everywhere, as well as Machinery of Man and the Everything Factor, and I'm so overjoyed to have both of these guys. Battletrap, I mean, like a nobody from G1. Now I'm saying a nobody from G1, but I believe he was in the Japanese animated series, maybe Headmasters, maybe Master Force, I'm not sure which one. He certainly wasn't in the North American original cartoon series, but he did have a toy, and it was kind of an ingenious idea at the time, where you had one robot and his bottom part, his blue pants, turned into, I guess it was a blue SUV with pink windows. I mean, the colors were so garishly 90s, it was gorgeous, and the upper part of his body turned into a helicopter. Well, we get that sort of done here, but revisioned a little bit because now we have actually two new characters to join your Decepticon ranks, and we can always use more Decepticons. The little blue one is Roadtrap, and no, he's not perfect, but he's pretty great. The articulation is alright. I love the colors on him, and he makes a fine pair of blue pants. His partner in crime, so to speak, is Battleslash, who's a pretty great helicopter and a good robot, though I do wish that something could be done with the helicopter rotor here. I've seen it taken off and used, I think, as a sword. That's an option. They're both all right, but I'm impressed with them not because they're perfect, but because they succeed, for the most part, at doing everything that they have to do, which is a lot of stuff. Now, this one is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to look at both of these guys and their combined form all in one. One-stop shop here, folks. So how about I stop babbling about these two and we head over to the table and take a closer look at them. So is this what we're calling this a 2-for-1 review, or is it a 3-for-1 review? I'm not really sure. We have Battleslash's box, who is actually behind Roadtrap, and Roadtrap's box that's behind Battleslash, just because I like to be different and I gotta be me. We're going to look at both of these guys individually and then combined, and while I think it's great to be able to add to our Decepticon alliance, I think it's also interesting the take that we had given to us here and two fresh new characters that come together to be, I want to say a classic character, but come on, what did the duocons ever do? I know. They have more of a fiction in traditional Japanese fiction, and I believe in the comics, but generally in the more popularized and largely familiar kind of North American G1 iteration of this character, these characters, these guys didn't really do anything. Who would expect, a Generations update of these two dudes, or of this dude, depending on how you see it. And this is box art for Roadtrap. Again, we have nice artwork up top. It's a box, nothing too special. On the back, there's the product shot. Of course, there's locations here for Prime Masters or Titan Masters, whichever you prefer. Not much of a bio. Basically talking about how him and his partner Battleslash? Yeah, Battleslash like to kind of, hound and wreak havoc on Autobots. And speaking of Battleslash, Here is his box, and I like the artwork. I like that the propeller is in his hand as, I guess, a sword. I think that that's kind of cool. Although, if it's rotating on his arm anyway, does he really need to take it off as a sword? I guess that depends on your tastes. On the back, again, we have the product shot, and he looks really imposing here with his rotor. Same sort of really sort of generic bio, nothing special there. And of course I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't point out the ever popular collector card. This one is for Roadtrap. And basically you get to see the artwork more clearly, so I guess that's cool. On the back we have that this is Nexus Roadtrap. Combines to form a duocon with any bot. So basically it says you can combine with any bot. And you know what? I feel like we should have got a Nexus Prime out of the Combiner Wars line, because I think the only real version of Nexus Prime we have came from Power Core Combiners, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that that was maybe a BotCon or a Collectors Club exclusive. Nevertheless, I think this is my first Nexus card. And what's this? Ever popular collector card times 2? Of course, this is Battleslashes, and again you can see the artwork more clearly there. It looks nice. This is Prima Battleslash, and it inspires allies with bravery and strength beyond his size. Speaking of Prima, I just recently kind of took a look at him in episode 381. I sort of explained there how I kind of technically have a version of Prima. And here we have the pretty glorious Roadtrap. I absolutely kind of love this guy. He's a pretty good bot. He's a great vehicle, and he even makes a pretty wonderful pair of blue pants. So, paint apps. Well, because we don't really have anything to kind of compare this guy to where he's a new character, let's say 10. Actually, because I really like the 90s vibe off of this, and the mix of yellow and silver and pink and blue and even some black. You know what? 10,000. I think the guy looks great. I love him. Now, when I first saw him, I wondered, how does he stand? He stands like an absolute champion, though it doesn't look like he would because of this, I guess, toe wench, whatever is on the bottom of his foot there. But, and I don't have these down, though I really probably should, for kind of added heel spurs. But honestly, the foot is so deep that the guy stands fantastic. I can't complain about that. So he's starting off with an excellent mark for his paint apps. What about the articulation? Well, in vehicle mode, he rolls fine. I don't know if it's the best vehicle mode, and they'll see that. In robot mode, well, we have a head that can go left and right. I mean, it can go all the way around. It doesn't really look up or down. The arms, they can go forward. They can't really go back. That's a bit of a shame. We do have 90 degrees at the elbow. The elbow can bend in and out because it's on a ball joint. 90 degrees? Maybe even over 90 degrees. Look at that. Oh, and the arms can go well out to the side as well. So they can't go back. That's the one shame. The legs can go out to the side. They can go forward. They can go all the way back. He has a thigh swivel. Dedicated thigh swivel? Not really. Like, it swivels up on the ball joint at the hip, and because the knee is really a ball joint, it swivels there as well. He has a deep knee. Now, it kind of looks like it's just his ankle bending because of where the knee is, but it is his knee. There's no doubt about it. That is his knee. And I guess knee bend / toe tilt all in one, and that's about it. Nothing at the waist. I was leery about the waist staying together. I figured it was probably going to come apart, which was a bit of a bummer. But mine doesn't. Mine stays tapped together very nicely, and I appreciate that. I'm going to give his articulation, for everything that the guy has to do for the small size that he is, I'm going to say he's solid. I'm going to give it an 8.5. It'd be nice if the arms could go back. That's about my only gripe for this particular size. So I would say that it's time for us to get into the transformation for this little dude. And it's not that hard, but it's interesting. We'll go to vehicle mode first, and then we'll go to pants mode, because, hey, why not? So where do we begin with this guy? Good question. Bring those down. Straighten up his feet and tab them together. And kind of, I guess, bring the hood out and angle it like that. It's a weird series of joints here, but basically what you're doing is you're angling from the knee, and I guess the knee and the rest of his leg down, and then you put the toes together, and then what would be the lower shin and the kneecap, you kind of push back. You bring out this and this for now, all the way out, just like that. Next, this is where it gets interesting. You kind of split the body, and when you split the body, you angle it forward and down. Really weird, I know. Let me see if I can show it to you here. So you split the body. You might even be able to do it without splitting the body, but I split the body. And then you angle it forward. There are black armatures here and another black armature in there. That brings this whole section forward. If you split it like I did, peg them back together, push them in, and really that's the roof of the vehicle done. The arms, they will flip down on the side, and then this arm piece fits up into this kind of cutout cavity here. So we bring that whole piece down, we fit that arm up into that cavity, and then we flip up that black piece to sort of hold it in place. Like that. Over here, same thing. We flip this down, we bring this up into the arm cavity. There is a little tab and slot right here on the arm. Bring this up, squeeze all of that in, and you're pretty much done. Almost. We still need to deal with this back section. And really the only thing to do here is to push the legs down part way and then the head all the way up under. You can turn the head around if you want. If you don't want him peeking out on the bottom, you can always turn the head around if you think that really helps it. The back of this vehicle is not good. The side's all right. The front is amazing. I love it. He rolls fantastic, just like a champion. So I like this. I'm a big fan of it. Big fan of it, actually. Okay, so while this is, like, I can sort of forgive this because of what it does, but let's go to blue pants mode, which is kind of, as many have mentioned, sort of half transforming him back. I'll do the kind of stock version of it, and when we get them together, I'll kind of show what I do a little bit differently. So, at this point, you split them. The whole body, the feet, the whole thing. You take the front tires and you bring that out, and you bring that out. You angle the feet and the legs. Really what you're doing to angle the feet and the legs is you're picking up this pink piece and then you're taking the foot and angling the foot up. Put these back in, and you keep the legs pegged in, and then you come back here and you bring up the head and thigh section again, and really this is him as Blue Pants, officially speaking, of course. We'll lay him aside for now, and then we'll take a look at Battleslash. But before we lay him aside, the transformation, it's pretty easy for the most part. Everything kind of tabs in nicely, and he does make a great pair of pants. I'm gonna give his transformation a solid 9. The guy is easily a 9. He is definitely worth adding to someone's collection for sure. He's a great addition to your Decepticon team. What about his partner, Battleslash? And here we have Battleslash with generally kind of an off-white motif. There's some purple thrown in there that I think looks great. You notice blue down on his toes. Now, when he's combined, he's the upper body of Battletrap. And the truth is, Battletrap should have blue arms and kind of a little bit of blue on his torso. But if I was to do a custom paint job on this guy, then for Battleslash here, it would mean that his entire leg and this entire leg would be blue, and this kind of nose cone section of the helicopter would also be blue. I don't know if in this case, having animation accuracy for the combined mode is worth the loss of a very cohesive look for Battleslash. I think I may leave it. I'd kind of like to know what you guys think. Should I do the custom paint job on him or leave him as he is? Because he looks glorious. Again, new character. I love the look of the guy. I'm going to say, again, 10,000. I think it's fantastic. He looks great. Another excellent addition to the Decepticon team. Articulation, well, in helicopter mode, he's a helicopter. It's, you know, it's all right. There's nothing particularly wrong with it. By the way, you may have noticed that I did not point out the Titan Master interconnectivity with Roadtrap. And I haven't done it with this guy yet. I'm going to show both of them in vehicle mode and show where the Titan Masters or Prime Masters go for both of them. So what about this guy's articulation? The head, that can go left and right. The arm can go forward. It can, again, it can't really go back. Both arms can go out to the side. The helicopter blade can still rotate in robot mode. We have a bicep swivel because of the fact that there's a ball hinge at the elbow. We have an elbow a little over 90 degrees. Of course, that's on both sides, so that's fine. The waist doesn't have anything. The legs, they can go well out to the sides to do the splits. They can go well forward. A little more hindered going back, and you can't get this piece out of the way. We have a thigh rotation, but it's only because of the ball joint at the knee, and we have a nice 90 degrees at the knee. Unfortunately, the feet of this guy are a little bit of a nuisance. They're not as big as I would like, and therefore he does tend to fall sometimes. You can get him standing. I mean, I have him standing no problem. You can get some pretty cool poses, but he's not quite as solid on his feet as Roadtrap is. Okay, so now on to the transformation. We will do the helicopter mode, and then we'll make him a lovely tuxedo shirt with a head, basically. His is more involved than his partner's. We have a 10,000 for his paint apps. For his articulation, it's all right. It's pretty good. It's not quite as good as his partner's, but considering everything he has to do, there's a lot here that I can forgive. I'm going to give his articulation about a 7.75. There are a couple of things that could have been done better. And that's not to say he's bad, it's just to say, in comparison to his partner, there's a couple of things I would have liked to have seen here. He's still great, and he's still scoring well. The conversion is so interesting for a figure of this size. Okay, so helicopter mode. The arms, they come forward. And the legs, they will split and come all the way up around. When they come up around, we rotate the leg, we rotate the leg. And you'll notice right now that the head is kind of in the way. Well, that's because we need to open the entire front of the body. And when we open the entire front of the body, now we can flip the head in. Push the legs together, and I left the front of the body open so that you could see that the two black hinges come together. Once you do that, you should be able to bring the legs together and bring out the rotors, although I just did that incorrectly. Or did I? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Put them together. Then flip the guy around. Close up that kind of bottom chest piece. And now you will notice that you have two arms flailing wildly here and a nose piece. Well, the little nose piece, you can go ahead and bring that down. No problem. The arms are definitely the trickiest part on this guy. And I was a little while figuring them out. What you need to do is, there's a little black hinge right here, and for helicopter mode, you need to flip the arm to the outside of that black hinge. Bring the black hinge back up by the body, so it's out like this now. Bring it up by the body, and then you're going to have the arm positioned here. Same over on this side. You use that hinge. You probably need to bring the arm down straight. Flip it out, and then bring that up. Then we take the arm and bring it up at the elbow. And when we bring it up at the elbow, we have a little kind of tab section here, and it kind of locks around the arm to lock that into place. On this side, we're going to do the same thing. And at that elbow, bring those together. Then you can sandwich the two forearms together. And when you sandwich them together, you're going to have a little section here at the back. One little, I don't even know what you call it, divot I suppose, is longer than the other. That will go down to a little slot between the legs. It's really hard to kind of show it with this guy. And there. Once you get the peg on this arm into the slot on this arm, and trust me, you'll see the peg because it's fairly large, you can tab them together, and then this kind of little curvature section here, one of those pieces goes down between his legs. Now you will probably notice right away that this does not turn freely. Weird little thing, after you got him transformed, I find it is best to sort of just pull up on this a little bit, and then it rotates freely. Strange, I know. But this is him in his helicopter mode. I think it looks cool. I think if the legs back here were blue, and this whole front section here was blue, and the only thing that we had gray was the kind of outline of the cockpit, because the windows are also blue, a different shade of blue, I think it would hurt the guy. I don't think he would look as cohesive as he does. Knowing how to handle that arm transformation, that's your big thing. And when you get it, before you do anything, take a look at that black hinge. You will notice that there's another hinge on the edge of it, and that his arm can kind of go around that. But he looks great in the end. Before I put him into his upper body, let's see his Titan Master integration or Prime Master integration along with his partners. And here we have both of them in vehicle mode. And we're going to use this sad little excuse for Vector Prime as our model. These things are kind of cool, but this is not my Vector Prime. Back right here we have two little notches. That little rectangular piece on the foot fits in between those notches, and usually fits pretty easily. And there you go. That's really shoehorned in there, and I think it looks awful. Don't ever use it because it's terrible. Well, maybe his partner fares better. Maybe his partner has excellent Titan Master integration or Prime Master integration, if you will. Sadly, no, he really does not. If we come to the back right here, again, you take that little nub that's on the heels, you put it right if it'll lock in. You can't really even get the guy to sit properly, like he's kind of bent at his knees. And there he is. I don't know. Is that supposed to be good integration? I think it's not. This, it can, for what it's worth, it can still spin freely. I guess it's pretty precarious. Again, don't do that. It's just terrible. They put it in there because it had to be in there, but it's not effective and does not help the quality of the character or the figures. So, tuxedo shirt, basically. Okay, so we need to kind of take the helicopter apart. And again, it's solid once it's done, so it can be a little easier said than done. Really, you need to, there you go, pick that piece up and untab these arms. And once the arms are untabbed, we can open them back out and open them back out for now. Bring them to the side and to the side. And should be able to bring that down. Bring that to the side. We should be able to flip that up for now, just because it'll give us a little bit of room to work. Untab that black piece. I don't know why these black hinges are giving me such pain this evening. Normally they're not quite this tight. That one came out. There. Okay, so I got both those black hinges out, which we need done again because now we need to split the legs and really kind of start to bring them down again. Now, instead of bringing them all the way down to the bottom, like we did before to make the legs, you're going to take them down about this far, and then at this pin here and this pin over here, they bend again. And that's going to make the arms for Battletrap. We open up the chest and we bring up the other head. This chest was the back of Battleslash. And we bring that nose piece back down. Fold up that piece and fold up that piece. Turn and turn. And this is mostly the guy done. Now, you're going to say, what about these sections here on the back? Well, really, you're supposed to bring this arm back around and bring this arm back around. Turn at the elbow and turn at the elbow. And bring this down and bring this down. Then you want to angle that black hinge back, angle that black hinge back. And in essence, and you position them like that, with this piece sticking down on the bottom. This is what we have, officially speaking. So now we've got lovely blue trousers, a nice fancy shirt. The guy looks good. By the way, in case I didn't show it clearly, this is the way the arms should be on the back. They're positioned such that the fists are, I guess the palm of the hands are facing out. The arms still pegged together. The rotor is straight in behind, up and down. And kind of in between the arms here. It takes a little bit of finesse to get it in there. Once you have that done, we have a space down here, which of course is the nose of the helicopter. And the head section goes up into the body of this guy. It is actually a pretty smooth and secure connection. So we take this guy, and there we go. And boom, in the end we have Battletrap. I obviously need to reposition things. And I love this guy. Individually, we have one bot that is about a 7.75 to an 8, that being Battleslash. The other one, he's about a 9. He's pretty fantastic. Between them, they're a solid 8, 8.5, but then we come to this guy. The transformation to get to him, not bad, because you just have to slot 2 pieces together. Officially speaking, the paint it's all right. Like I said, the arms should be blue, kind of these sections of the body should be blue, but that would mean making the nose cone of the helicopter and the whole tail section of the helicopter blue. I think it would help or hurt the look of Battleslash. This is pretty accurate, except for those missing blue apps. I think you'd certainly know who it is. Great head sculpt for the guy, great lower sculpt and lower coloring for the guy. I'm going to give it a solid 8. So the transformation, 10, easy to get there. The coloring, 8. What about his articulation? Well, the head can go left and right. It can look down, really, because he's looking down to his chest, but it can look down a bit. The arms can go all the way around, out, way to the side. We have a nice 90-degree bend at the elbow. The bicep has a bit of a swivel there. Really, because of that ball joint, nothing at the wrist. The waist has articulation, but it's hindered because of the positioning of this piece down the back of him. The legs, they can go well out to the side, can go way forward. I think that's fantastic. Can go way back. Again, fantastic. We have a knee that can bend up like that. It is more hindered unless you're okay with the arm kind of popping out of place. Before the arm pops, it really only gets to about there. We have ankles that can move a little bit, certainly forward and back. Not, I guess, a little bit to the side. Like, you have a bit of an ankle rocker there. So I think that that's cool. Thigh swivel. He has pretty much everything you could want. Now, I'm going to say his articulation is really on par with kind of any deluxe. Here he is with, say, a legend-sized figure being tailgate. So he's obviously larger. Here he is with a small deluxe class Titans Return figure. So Perceptor wasn't a large Titans Return figure, and he's pretty much a small deluxe. Here he is with an older deluxe, just for fun. This is Classics Universe Prowl. You know, I mean, he's still a respectable deluxe size, so I totally dig that. Now, what do I do differently? What I do sort of helps his articulation a little bit. I come over here and untab the arm. I bring it up. And I bring it out and angle it like that. Over on this side, I untab the arm. I bring it up, I turn it, and bring it in like that. It sort of gives a little bit more of a calf. But because that is bent like that, when you bend his leg, you don't get the same hindrance, or at least I don't. So I leave his arms like that. They're not quite as secure, and I could see somebody not liking them stuck out on the side, but it's what I do. Back here, because I don't like this stuck down, I unpeg his arms, and I bring this one up, and this one I keep down underneath and bend it. I bring this in, I bring this in, and I sort of angle these kind of like in a diamond shape, and it puts, if I've done this correctly, and I didn't quite do it correctly. There. Put them in kind of a diamond shape. I have the rotor inside. It's secure here. It does not move. Yes, it sticks out over his shoulder, and yes, this is kind of up behind his head a little bit, but the rotor doesn't move, and you can sort of finagle the positioning of that a bit. And it gives him his full, free waist rotation. I feel like that's a small price to pay to really have something that looks like a sword in its sheath up underneath, or up over his shoulder. Now, that's just me, but just the fact that you can do that, just the fact that you can come up with something versatile like that, I think is an absolute testament to how awesome this guy really is. Overall, because I've given a lot of scores here, overall, he's a solid 9. He's a fantastic, fun, versatile figure that I have had hours of enjoyment out of, just because I'm always discovering something new to do with him. Now bring me a flywheels, please and thank you. And don't say Skytread from Titan's Return fills that bill, because that little Titan Master does not fill the bill. Not when we know we can have duocons as awesome as these guys. And we're back here, and by now you know how impressed I am with this little duo. I think that they are extremely dynamic and interesting. There's so much play value, so much to kind of discover and try out and figure out, and then so many things that you can move and adjust to come up with a fan mode that suits you and your tastes. Don't get one of these. Do yourself a favor, get both of them, because they're both just plain fun and excellent 90s goodness that you can hold in your hands and really fiddle with and just have some good old-fashioned fun with. Anyway, let me know what you think about these two guys. Are you as blown away by them as I was? Maybe, maybe not. It all comes down to your thoughts, but I'd love to hear them. Again, I'm going to say hit that subscribe button, stick around. I very much appreciate it. And I also very much appreciate you giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I know how important it is to you. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit right here inside the videos.